It's an orange juice.
What's up, everyone? We've been covering Brawl Stars for some time now. It's time for some tech tips to help you up your game. Pika is one of the top Bull players in the world, and he's given us some top tips on how to use Bull in every mode. Huge shout out to Pika, so check out their Twitters. Bull Pika, 9 Circles, Dadoodlin, and Axel for helping with this as well. Let's start with the different modes. Heist is by far the best mode for Bull, no question about it. You'll want to make sure you're playing on closed off maps that don't leave you vulnerable to snipers. Focus on charging your super. With your super, find a window of opening to charge into the enemy safe. The best time to do this is during the heat of a battle. This forces your opponent to retreat and play defense. You want to be able to continually provide pressure and force the enemy to react to your moves. Bull's star power is amazing for charging in and literally dealing double the damage to the safe. His star power is so good. Siege is another good mode for Bull. His damage on the Ike has been nerfed just a bit from 31% to 24%, so he's not gonna get that extra shot off with his star power. But still, Bull can be used to control the middle of the map. Controlling the map kind of means that you're in charge of manipulating where your enemy's position is, forward or backwards. So as Bull, engaging the enemies and getting them near them pushes them backwards into their zone and gives you and your teammates a better position to grab the bolts. Don't be afraid to use a super to grab the bolts or to escape from the enemies. If you're using it to rush opponents, you've got to be mindful of how many brawlers you're engaging into, because charging into 2 opponents, it's kind of risky. Charging into 3 means you are doomed. Bull's charge is also useful to escape the Ike turret after a nice juicy push, getting that one extra shot on the turret without dying. Gem grab is similar to Siege because Bull can provide good control of the map. Use Bull to dodge shots, advance up, and control the mine. Bull has less map options. This is because gem grab maps are kind of open. If your team struggle to control the point, use Bull's super to rush the enemy gem carrier and allow your teammates to advance forward. Don't collect gems unless you've killed someone who has gems and there's nobody else around you. The only time Bull should be collecting gems is if your team is already ahead at 8 or 9 gems and you can't get the gems without putting the team at risk. Bull is a controller, not a gem carrier. In Brawl Ball, Bull can be either used as a ball carrier or field control. Bull's super lets him self-pass, kick the ball to the edge of the map, then super towards it. Bull's effectiveness is diminished as walls and grass gets torn down as the game goes on. You can be aggressive in Brawl Ball, so don't be afraid to use a super if you can get a kill or gain control of the map. Bounty is one of Bull's worst mode just because he's practically only good in Snake Prairie. There's just so much grass in the beginning. Most maps in Bounty are made for long or mid-range combat, so this kind of puts Bull at a disadvantage. It's hard for Bull to control any of these maps and land shots on mid to long rangers, which means less supers. Because Bull needs to get up close and personal to get kills, it puts him in a risky situation where he'll overextend into an enemy territory and he'll likely start feeding, giving away those stars. If you decide to play Bull in Bounty, always save your super to escape from enemies unless you need that last minute kill. In Showdown, Bull typically gets worse and worse as you climb in trophies. In the lower ranges, Bull is a powerhouse because even a level 1 Bull will get 3 shots on a box. Most lower trophy players don't know how to keep their distance from a Bull. In higher ranges, teaming brawlers will be Bull's worst enemy. Almost nobody wants to team with a Bull because of his ability to backstab really easily. If there's teaming going on, use the bushes and be very passive. Bush camping is a great strategy for Bull because of the showdown maps are larger and less players can kind of spot where you are in the bushes. Again, in lower ranges, this is easier as less players scout out bushes. Now that you've gone over the modes that Bull's good in, let's talk about the matchups against the different brawlers that he's good and bad against. Here are the top 5 brawlers that Bull's effective against. Mortis can easily be taken out because both brawlers, they need to be in close range, but Bull has the advantage in not only health, but damage as well. The only time you'll need to be careful against the Mortis is if you're low on health and he could kill you in like 2 to 3 shots. El Primo is another close ranger brawler that can be easily taken down by Bull. Bull's advantage in attack power will allow you to take down an El Primo if you're right beside each other. Also, you can use Bull's attack range to chip away at the El Primo at mid-range. But you gotta be careful though, not to chase the El Primo and run into his punches, because that Primo's gonna land 4 punches and you're gonna get like 1 or 2 shells off of your shot. It's not gonna deal much damage. You're gonna die, it's not gonna be happy. It's not exactly a positive attack trade. If an aggressive Primo supers onto you, you should be able to take him down by spamming point blank shots. If the Primo jumps onto you but maintains his distance, that's a smart Primo. Try to avoid him and use your super. Use Bull's super for canceling out a Frank's super, or running away from it if you're not going to be able to stop it. It's better to go in the other direction. Frank's super will stop Bull mid-charge. If you can get into point blank range of a Frank, you will be able to burst him down. Frank can't hang out with the close range brawlers because of his slow attack speed. Daryl also has a slow reload time on his attack, so Bull will easily be able to take him out. A star power Daryl is a bit of a nuisance though, because he'll be able to roll onto you, activate his shield, and take reduced damage. Ugh. But your super should charge in the same duration, which you can use to escape before he kills you. Poco does almost no damage to a Bull. Well, he doesn't deal damage to anyone anyways. So if you can get close, you will almost always kill a Poco. The Poco will usually use a super to heal, which allows you to charge your super even more. Now, here are some brawlers you want to avoid facing as a Bull. Nita can attack around walls with Bull's large hitbox. He easily gets chipped away. Nita can also keep her distance really well, so trying to get close to her is only gonna feed her and get her a bear. Usually, you can take out Nita in a few shots, but with her star power, that's a bit more dangerous, so you're gonna need 3 shots to stop her bear. Pam does an insane amount of damage unless you can get right on top of her. Do not chase Pam, because she's just gonna chip you into nothing and you'll be charging her turret for free. Her star power can also negate the damage of one of your shells, and her healing turret makes your mid-range attempt at chipping her pretty useless. She's one of the strongest brawlers in the game. Never tank her, please. Jessie by herself is not too much of a threat, but her turret can make things really difficult for Bull. If a turret is planted right on top of you, you should easily be able to take it down. But more likely the turret will be placed in a strategic spot and you will take heavy damage trying to take it down while it hits you, charging Jessie's super again for another turret. Her star power makes it even harder, as her turret will be even more difficult to take down with that healing turret bounce. Spike's damage makes it pretty tough for Bull to be effective. Since Bull has such a large hitbox, Spike can usually deal around 2,000 damage versus an average brawler that is gonna take 1,400 damage, just because Bull is really thick. A Spike can 4 or 5 shot a Bull and keep him away with its long range. If you're able to point blank to a Spike, Spike will throw down a super, slowing you down and allowing the Spike to escape. You should generally avoid this matchup unless you're able to surprise the Spike from a bush or skillfully dodge and chip away in a fight. Spike is a tank killer. Stay away. Jean's damage is nothing to worry about and can chase him pretty easily without getting destroyed, but it is his super that creates complications. He can pull you into his entire team and have you instantly melted. Secondly, he can pull you while you're mid-charge, making Bull less effective at controlling the map or making those key kills. In a worst case scenario, you can use your super as a defense to protect your gem carrier from being pulled by the Jean. Bull can be used as an effective meat shield for your team's gem carrier. He's a controller, not a carrier. Shelly can be somewhat of a situational counter if you find each other point blank. If Shelly needs 2 or more shots to charge her super, you'll still win since you can 2-shot her. But if she has her super as well, she's gonna blast you, she's gonna chain it up, she's gonna stun you, she's gonna attack you twice, she's gonna have more supers lined up, you're gonna be in for a bad time. Try to keep your distance against Shelly with supers and hope that your teammates can step in and take care of her. If you're able to get a meaty shot on her before she supers you, it is possible to kill her once you're unstunned if she hasn't already finished you off. Now that you know which brawlers to go up against and which ones to avoid, here are some general tips to increase your game overall. If someone's at the edge of the map and you can use your super to charge into them, this will place you right on top of them so your shots do the maximum amount of damage. Focus on getting your super and keep the enemy pushed back instead of getting kills at the start of the match. This will allow you to guarantee those late game kills by chaining your supers. Don't use your super in showdown late game. I'm sure you've all done this at one time or another and ran deep into the poison gas. Despite all the memes about it, bush camping works. You surprise the enemy and catch them off guard point blank. You can almost always auto aim with bull at close range, but manual aim at mid to long range for those really cheap chipping shots. For mid to long range shots, try to predict where the enemy will go to allow more of those shells to land. If you need to escape using your super, try to attack the nearest opponent and super out before the shells hit them. This way you get a little charge for your super even though you didn't directly hit someone with your super, stacking that charge while you're using it and escaping. Smart. Keep in mind how much health you have and how much damage each brawler can dish out. Bull can take damage during his super, so don't rush into 3 people at once. It does not make you invincible. Do not super into brawlers with high DPS like Shelly. That being said, you can do this if you know they've used up their ammo, and Shelly definitely does not have her super charged up. Using your super to escape should be used on limited occasions. Limited. This being if you have something important like gems, stars, bolts, or it's a showdown match. Here are some ways you can use Bull's star power more effectively. It's okay to stay in star power range against an El Primo by chip-shotting him. You'll be able to double your damage output and charge your super in half the time. But make sure you stay out of Primo's range or he will 2-punch knock you out. Not 1 punch though. Stay in star power range during Heist if you're on the enemy safe. You can quickly take out safes if the other team leaves you undefended. Using Bull's star power in boss fights at early levels can be effective in melting bosses really quickly. Once the boss gets more powered up though, you want to avoid using Bull's star power because staying alive is going to be more important than dealing double the damage. You're not dealing double the damage if you're dead. Bull's star power can be helpful in big games and Robo Rumble with faster reload times. He's one of the best Robo Rumbler brawlers. Again, huge shout out to Pika for helping make this video possible. Hope you guys enjoyed the tips. If you guys want more of these kind of series, let me know and I will contact other top players. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more quality OJ.